Hello, beautiful soul. Thank you for tuning into today's episode. I am coming on because I've been doing a lot of reflecting work recently, and I wanted to share something that I think has been a really fundamental part of my journey in scaling and becoming the leader that I am today, and just my journey of entrepreneurship, to be honest with you, and investing in yourself. Now, I'm taking you back in time to when I first started my first business when I had a tiny baby. And I just felt this pull that I was here to do more, that I really wanted to create something. I wanted to have that financial independence. I wanted to have a bigger purpose than being just a mum. And when I say just a mum, I use that term in not to say that mums aren't enough or that we're not doing a big enough job. Like that is a full-time job in itself. But for me, there was always something that I needed to be doing more. I wanted to be making more of an impact. I wanted to be doing something that felt really good, other than just being a mum. And I started my business in 2016, very much on the side. It was a wedding stationery business. I just started, having done a few stationery designs for friends of the family and friendship groups that I had. And it kind of evolved from there. And I thought, you know what? Like, this is really fun. I'm really enjoying it. It's letting my creativity flow. And this was way before I knew anything about alignment, anything about soul's purpose, anything about human design, or anything like that. So I was really creative, always have been my entire life. And I was doing something and getting paid to create these, I would say, beautiful wedding stationery designs. Looking back on it, they really weren't. Like, they were nothing professional at all, like very basic, very kind of rustic. It just wasn't my vibe now. But back then, I was just really enjoying getting paid to do something that I loved. And I thought I could turn this into a business. So I did. Had no idea at all at that time that there were networking spaces, that there were loads of other entrepreneurs, that there were loads of communities specifically for the niche that I was in, the industry I was in, like just all of this support available, coaching, support, mentors, all of that kind of thing was just not even in my field at all. Like, I'd never experienced it, never come across anyone that was an entrepreneur. It was all very new. It was very much a side hustle business hobby. Basically, I was not making any profit because I would quote for projects before finding out my costs based on what would I personally think would be an acceptable amount to charge on this. And for so many of my orders that I had in the very beginning, I was actually making a loss because I hadn't factored in my print costs. So not only was I spending a huge amount of my time staying up until stupid o'clock of the morning creating these designs, spending hours and hours and hours putting them together, spending hours packing them all up, assembling them, because I was very the attention to detail was there. So I was always over delivering. I was charging absolute peanuts for what it was, and I was actually making a loss. So the whole thing did not make any sense. Looking back on it now, I'm like, why was I even doing that? Why was I already sleep deprived, and yet I was adding more to my plate as a first time mum by having this business? And I came across this post, I think it was on Instagram, for a networking space, a networking community for people in the wedding industry, which obviously was the industry I was in. So I went along to this event, connected with some other people, and I was like, this is so weird. Like, I didn't know this was a thing. We were in a Facebook group, like there was loads of support there, everyone was championing each other, and I was like, this is just like my eyes were just open to even having this kind of space. And fast forward a few months, I then made the decision to invest £97 in 1 hour of support in person with the person that ran this particular networking community. I had never in my life invested that kind of money. Back then, this was a lot of money as well. I'd never invested that kind of money in myself. Like, investing was not a thing. To me, I was very much the mindset of, can I afford £97? Like, could I do that? Can I make this work? Like, that just sounds like a lot of money for an hour of somebody's time. How can I justify spending this? And I was very much seeing it as a spend rather than an investment. But the thing is, that £97 investment was the complete it was the start of my business really scaling, of me really understanding what was available to me, of me tapping into the opportunities that were there that I had not even considered prior to getting that kind of support. And now this £97 investment, I didn't tell anybody about it because I had guilt around investing in myself. I had the sort of like I was just scared of being judged. That decision to invest £97, I hid from everybody because I had shame, but also excitement because I wouldn't even think twice about spending £97 on clothes or like random stuff that I didn't need or something on eBay or like just anything. Like, I mean, how easy is it to spend £97 or even hundreds of pounds like on basic everyday item? Because actually, and this is what I really wanted to plug into in this episode, is society normalizes spending. But what it doesn't normalize is investing in yourself and investing in your personal growth or your business. Like, it's just not anything that is talked about unless you already have business owners, entrepreneurs in your field when you are first starting. So every single time you are using your money in an exchange for something, so whether it is a course, a new system, some tech, like a rebrand, like whatever it might be, like a license, a trademark, anything, it's all seen as in the beginning as spending money because that is what we are conditioned by society to believe, that that is what we're doing. When actually every single thing that you use your money for in your business, it's always an investment, because an investment is different because it's actually helping you to grow personally and professionally. An investment is something which has a very different ROI depending on what it is. So an investment in a piece of software might mean that the ROI is it's going to save you a huge amount of time. It's going to make onboarding your clients so much easier. It is going to streamline your processes. It's going to create ease and flow and just make everything easier, basically. So the ROI might not necessarily be a financial gain, but it's going to help you to create more freedom, create more time, create a better system for your business. So when you can see that using your money in exchange for something, whether that is coaching, a course, support, tools, like whatever it is, it's always an investment. And I think the more we can start to really tap into that, the better. And this £97 investment that I made really was what took things to a whole new level. It was really what skyrocketed my business and just opened my eyes to what was available to me. And it was what triggered me into thinking, I don't want to say triggered, it activated me into seeing what was available to me. And it was what really started to get the cogs in my brain turning, and I saw what was available, and it actually made me wake up, because my background prior to having this business was in brand, in content creation, in marketing. Like, that was my expertise. That's what I'd always done. So I had all the experience in terms of being visible, in creating scroll stopping graphics, but I wasn't using that expertise in my business because I almost saw the two as totally different things. Like, running my own business versus working for other businesses or agencies was just a complete, like, different industry, a different niche. So I just never thought of combining my past expertise into my business. So this £197 investment that I made helped me to see how I could bring in my experience from my past career into my business. And that was when things really started to shift. So I started to look at rebranding. I started to look at what I wanted from my business rather than what everybody else was doing. And I was so hyper focused on what other people, what other leaders were doing in my niche, that I never had my own clear vision on what it was I wanted to create. And as soon as this £97 session opened my eyes into thinking about, what do I want? What do I personally want to achieve in this business? What am I here to do? What would be the dream scenario, situation, business, brand? What would it be? What would it look like? So I started to build it. I stopped looking at what everybody else was doing. I stopped comparing myself to everybody else. And I started to actually take the aligned action. And I say the aligned action. Back then, I was just going with what was in my heart because I had no idea about alignment back then. It wasn't even something I tapped into, understood, experienced. Like it just was never in my field anyway. And it was a real kind of, it was a real sense of clarity in what I wanted to achieve from my business. And I just think it's such a beautiful thing because I know that like most of my clients that I work with are very much in the scaling phase. They've already invested highly in their business. They've spent tens of thousands into their own personal and business growth. But I also know that there are people that listen to this who have yet to invest in themselves or have and feel uncomfortable in doing so. And even when you're investing at a high level, it feels uncomfortable because every time you are making that first big next investment in yourself, in your business, it feels scary because everything in us from our past is telling us we're not used to doing this. Are we ready for this? Is this really the right decision? Does this make sense? And we've got all of these sort of triggers that come up for us in terms of making that investment. But the thing that changes over time, the more you experience investing and see the impact that has in your business, in how it helps you to scale and grow at such a fast rate in comparison to trying to do everything yourself, because I've done both. Like I have tried to do things myself because the investment at the time didn't make sense. And I just thought, you know what, I could learn how to do this myself. The difference is one will help you to get there quicker, whilst the other one might leave you staying stuck and not actually getting the results, or will just take a lot longer to do. The reason people invest in courses and coaches and mentors is for that support, for the accountability, for the guidance from somebody who knows and is an expert in the particular thing you want to achieve. That's the whole point. So it is never about spending money and always about what is going to help me get to that next point. And I want you to just think about this in a different way. So if you think about any kind of investment that you are currently considering, or maybe it's not even come into your field yet, maybe this is something that might come into your field like in the next few weeks, in the next few months, I want you to think about this. When this feels really good to you in your sacral, in your heart, in your body, and I'm not talking about in your head, I'm talking about in your body, if it feels good in your gut, then I want you to think, what is the worst case scenario if I say yes to this thing and go all in on this investment? What would happen? And I want you to think about the worst case scenario and also the best case scenario. And I also want you to think the same for if you do not make that decision. So when I ask this question to most people, when I say to them, if you invest in this thing, what is the worst case scenario? It might be they don't get the results, or they don't make their money back, or they can't afford to keep up with their payments. And so often it is linked to the money over what the impact is going to have for their business. Now, the thing to remember is when you are making a different investment to what you're used to, everything in your head is telling you this isn't safe. This isn't safe, especially if you have limiting beliefs or money mindset blocks or issues, or you've been surrounded by that money doesn't grow on trees, money is hard to make, I need to work really, really hard in order to make money. If you have been conditioned to believe those things, then what will happen is even when you say yes to something, you're kind of going to go into that freeze mode because it will feel scary. But I want you to remember that when you make an investment in yourself and you decide to go all in and you take the action and you show up for yourself, what you're actually doing is saying yes to you. You're saying yes to the goals that are on your vision board. You're saying yes to bringing that vision that is on your vision board into your reality. And it might only be a baby step, but equally, a best case scenario, it could absolutely catapult your business and your personal life into what that vision is on your vision board. Like it could literally make it happen so, so fast. And this happens so often in coaching and mentoring spaces that I have personally been in before. I mean, you hear all the success stories of people that are struggling with one thing, they invest in this thing, then they get the incredible results really, really fast. And that's not to say it's going to happen for everybody. But what I want you to do is to stop waiting to feel ready, because true magnetism, when you attract the clients, the wealth, the things that are on your vision board, the lifestyle you want, like all of the goals that you have set on your goals list, true magnetism begins when you start to fully back yourself first. Because this investing in yourself isn't actually about the number. It's not. It's about the decision that you are going to make to say, I am ready to make this happen. I am prepared to go all in, because this vision I have, I'm not prepared to wait for it. I'm not prepared to wait until I feel ready or until I have all these external things in order to move forward. If it feels good in your body and you know in your heart that it's the right decision, then it's already a yes. And it might be it's a yes, but maybe you don't get started for like a couple of months or maybe even a year. But in your body, you will know if this is the right decision for you. Your body is always giving you signals and signs. It's just we have been conditioned to listen to our heads over our body. We've kind of lost that intuitive nudge that we all have inside us. And that is the work that I think is so powerful. And the more you can start to tap into that, the better, because it is going to help you to absolutely transform not just your business, but your life. And I know that because it's happened for myself and it happens for the clients I work with. It's happened for the connections that I have, because this is soul's work. You're not then following somebody else's vision board or strategy that has worked for somebody else, because no one strategy is going to work for everybody. And I want to hold my hands up now and just say, over my 9 years of entrepreneurship, I have made investments that have not got me the results I hoped for. I have made investments in coaches and mentors who actually weren't the right fit, but I didn't know until doing this deep work why things felt really hard. Now, the thing with being a soul-led mentor is I now know how to make the right decision for me. I know in my body if something is a absolute hell yes, or if it's a maybe, then it's a not right now. It's just a no until it feels good. It has to feel like a full body hell yes, because that is aligned to my human design. And everyone's human design will be different. So how you make decisions will be different. But either way, it's a body feeling. It's a body decision. You know in your body when something feels right. And I just want to take you back to this £97 investment that I made. I could have not done it because everything in my head was telling me this isn't safe. You have never spent that amount of money on yourself before. What if you don't get the sort of insights or help that you need right now? And not only did I have the £97 payment for the actual session, I also had my travel costs because it was in London, which from where I live is like £85 or something. So even that in itself, when I added all of that up and the fact that I got myself a coffee when I went there, like that was so cringy back then, because it was just like it wasn't essential. Who am I to spend that sort of money on myself? That could have been used for something else. But what happened having made that first decision to back myself was it opened up doors. It opened up opportunities that absolutely catapulted my business. And they say there is no overnight success. But what happened next in my business when I made the decision to rebrand to 3 times my prices, to position myself as an authority in my industry, to be so niche in what I was doing, but going along with what felt really good, what really lit me up, what excited me, because I do think we need to be excited about our businesses in order to attract. And I had total confidence knowing that my ideal clients were going to come across any piece of content and know straight away that I am speaking to them and I am the one. And whilst they say there is no overnight success, that is what happened for me. And yes, I did bring in my past expertise from my career into scaling my brand. But I booked a dream client within 48 hours of launching my rebrand. because I was so focused. And now that I know about energy work, I know why that was, because I showed up with an energy that made me a match for the people, for the clients, for the wealth, for the opportunities that I was calling in. I had so much passion, so much excitement, so much drive that when I launched my rebrand with the excitement, with that energy that was aligned to what I was calling in, it made me an energetic match. And I literally booked a client within 48 hours. And within the first 2 weeks of launching that rebrand, I had already made back my investment, my entire investment on the website design that I'd invested in. And that month went on to be my best month in business, like throughout the entire time of my business. And I stopped comparing myself to everybody else because I was the only one showing up with this type of brand, with this niche, with this messaging, with this content. Like everything was just totally niche to me and totally aligned to what I was here to create. And it meant that I was the only one speaking to my dream client. And that is the power of doing this work. And it's why I love what I do so much, because I build brands from the inside out. Which, if you don't know what that means, it basically means I start with tapping into you, the real you, understanding your vision, what you are here to create, the impact you are here to deliver, the legacy you are here to build, and what lights you up. Like, what is actually aligned to you? What feels good? What excites you? What do you want to create? And once I know that, then we can start looking on all of the other elements. So bringing in your brand visuals, your messaging, your content strategy, even knowing how to be visible in a way that is aligned to you and your soul. Because we're not all designed to be creating millions of carousel posts. We're not all designed to be on TikTok. We're not all designed to be creating video content. We're not all designed to be writing lengthy, long blog posts and press releases. Like, we are all designed to do different things in terms of our visibility. So soul-led visibility and building your brand from the inside out is exactly how you're going to magnetize the right people. But until you do the deep inner work and you start to believe and fully back yourself in knowing what you're here to create, it's already done. It's already yours. You're already that person inside. It's just stripping back those layers and becoming that version of you, and knowing that every single investment you make in your business, whether you feel like you have had the results or not, it is all part of your journey. I am so grateful and thankful to every single investment I have made in my business and in my personal life to date, because it has made me who I am today. It's helped me to learn things that I now know. It's helped me to see what does work, what doesn't work. And had I not have made some perhaps wrong, I put in quotation marks, decisions, I wouldn't have learned the lessons that I needed to learn. I'm a true believer in things happen for a reason. Everything in our lives right now, whatever is happening for you right now, if things feel hard, if things feel challenging, if things feel really exciting, if things are flowing, we are in exactly the state that we need to be in right now, for the lessons we need to learn, for the opportunities we need to be attracting, for the insights we need to be having. Like, all of that is all part of our own personal development. And this is it with building your personal brand. It's all evolution, everything. You are constantly growing and evolving. You will never create a rebrand for your business. Like my personal brand rebrand that I launched a week, 2 weeks ago now, this will be outdated in 18 months, 2 years, because I will grow as an individual. And it might be that actually my branding, my messaging, my content, and everything is still really aligned to where I'm going. But I know for a fact that even a year from now, I'll be very different to who I am now. If I went back and listened to my first podcast episode, the energy behind it, what I'm saying, like how I'm showing up with the sort of conviction and the confidence and the clarity and the message I'm here to deliver, is different now to what it was when I did my first episode in, I think it was March 2024. We are constantly evolving and growing. And how boring would it be if we were the same person at the end of a year? Like that, for me, I am allergic to that. I am absolutely allergic to that. Like the thought of me being the same person a year from now and having the same results and not having any growth or not making any scary decisions, that feels more terrifying than saying yes to things that feel uncomfortable, because growth does not happen from staying in your comfort zone. It just doesn't. So you have to do uncomfortable things. And when I say uncomfortable things, I don't mean things that are out of alignment. You will feel in your body if something is in alignment and it should be a yes. I don't like using the word should, but I did. And it should be a yes, or if it's a no, or if it's a maybe later, not right now. But when you can start tapping into your intuition and feeling when something is a good decision and not stressing over the number. And I know in terms of making investments, you need to be able to have the money, the funds there to be able to say yes to something. Like that's that's not even like, yeah, you just need to have that to be able to say yes, whether that is the availability to invest in using a credit card or debit card or like whatever it is. If you've got the money there available, if you've got savings or whatever it is, you need to physically have that money to be able to say yes. If you have no means of investing in something, like it might feel like a yes to you in your body, but then it's just going to be a case of trusting that that is going to happen for you. And here's one thing I want to leave you with on this episode today. If you are in a position where you cannot say yes to something because the finances aren't there, what I want you to do is to put it on your vision board, put it on your whiteboard, put it on your screensaver, like wherever you need to put it, of you already know in your body that this is a yes. You know that this is going to happen for you. And I've actually got this with a few people that I already know that I'm going to be working with. So this is a practice I do daily. And I imagine what it is going to be like the day I get to say, I'm ready. I am all in. Here's my money. Like, here's my credit card. I'm just ready to say yes now. And I want you to imagine what that's like and what that is going to open up for you once you have achieved that. How is it going to feel in your body? How is it going to feel when you are working with that person, or you've invested in that course, or you've done that thing that has been on your vision board for ages that you currently maybe don't have the funds available for right now, but you know it's going to be your reality? Start feeling and embodying the version of you who already has that, who has already said yes, who has already committed herself and gone all in and fully backed herself. Because when you can do that, you will be so surprised of what opportunities and things pop into your world to make that a reality, because you've already asked the universe, you've already put it out there. Like, this is what you want, this is what you're calling in, and it will become your reality. I promise you. So I hope this episode has inspired you today. And we all have to start somewhere with investing in ourselves, no matter what stage you're at in your business. If that next investment feels scary as hell, like one of the investments I would love to make is working with a coach who I really admire. And it's a 30K investment to work with her. Like, that is, when she told me the amount, no part of me thought, oh my God, that's a lot. It was okay. It was just okay. Great. I've written it down. She's on my vision board. I'm going to work with her. So for me to be able to say that now, knowing that, okay, like that just feels good. Like, it's not even about the number, it's about how I'm going to feel when I'm in a position to say yes to that person. So the growth that I've had personally, going from that scary as hell £97 investment that I wouldn't tell a single soul about, to now saying, okay, yeah, that, like, I'm going to make it happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to invest that 30K to work with that person that I want to work with. Like, that personal growth. And yes, it's taken me a long time to get to that, because I come with a shed load of money mindset blocks and a nervous system that just was not prepared or ready to be able to attract and magnetize the money that I was calling in. And I was literally repelling it. Every time I made money, I was investing it constantly. Never, ever spent it on myself, ever. Never invested anything for me. It was always going straight back into the business because my nervous system wasn't safe to hold it. So even when I had an incredible cash month, it would be gone. 40 hours gone. I would have said yes to something else, just straight back out. And that is work that I've had to be working on, and I still continue to work on, because it is an ongoing thing. It's never a one and done thing. It's always a constant like process that you have to work through. And some people have more issues with this kind of thing than others. For others, it's easy. But then they might have blocks in terms of confidence, in terms of showing up, in terms of actually backing themselves, if it's something that's a very alien concept to them. It might be really scary growing a community, even though they know they want to have loads of people in their space. So we all have to start somewhere. We all have to say yes and fully back ourselves at some point, and we'll continue to need to do that in order to really grow our businesses. I hope this has inspired you today. I would love to know what key takeaways you've had. Send me a message if this has resonated with you. If you've enjoyed the episode, please leave me a review as well. And I will see you in the next episode of Becoming a Powerhouse Brand. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and send you lots of love. Mwah.